in your life that if you could go back in time, you would stop yourself from doing it?
Let's have it.
If I could remove one thing from my life, it would not be my marriage. It would be the voices I allowed into my head. I met my husband when he had nothing, no money, no cars, just me and him, peace of mind. We used to sit outside in the evening, laugh, gist. Back then, I used to say, as long as I have you, I'm okay. And I meant it. Or at least I thought I did. My husband used to do a lot of things for me. They might not be big, but they felt real. If I complain about headache, he'll massage my head with warm water till I sleep off. If the food at home is not enough, he will say he's not hungry just for me to eat. Sometimes he'll wake up very early in the morning to go and fetch water before I wake up from sleep. Some days when I'm tired, he will help me to wash plates even when I said he should not. And every single night, no matter how stressful his day went, he always asks me, "Are you okay? Hope you are good." Those things used to mean everything to me back then because they feel real and natural. Well, things didn't actually change suddenly. Everything started changing when life got a little better for us. We got a better job and we moved into a small apartment in a quiet estate. I remember the first night we slept there. We didn't sleep early because of excitement. And nothing changed my husband. He was even better than before. And life continues. So after a year and a half, that was when we had our first child. My husband would carry the baby like it was the most fragile thing in the world. Sometimes I'll wake up in the night and I'll see him watching the baby. He was not a perfect man. He forgets date sometimes. And in fact, my husband doesn't know how to surprise like all those Instagram husbands. But he was always present and that was all that mattered. Then I met new friends in the estate, women who looked like they had everything together, always well dressed, talking about luxury life, and they called themselves estate boss ladies. At first, it was just a conversation, then slowly it became something else. I would meet them for tea and they would ask about my marriage, and I would tell them it is fine, my husband is trying, and they would laugh. Just fine? One of them said. She said, "Do I have a car?" I said, "No." She said, "That means I still take the estate bus." And I said, "Yes." She said, "That's a disaster at its peak." She said, "I deserve more." And the other one said, "I have to push him." Because men don't know how to do what is expected until you push them. They told me how they push their husbands to get where they are today. How they will not settle for less, but the absolute best. And slowly I started listening to those women. Then I started noticing things I don't used to notice. What? The way my husband repeated clothes and the way he calculated expenses before spending. The way he would say, "Let's manage this month." Before it was normal, but now it felt like suffering. Even the things I once loved about this man started irritating me. When he asked, "Are you okay?" it started sounding as if it was a noise. When he could not afford something expensive, I would start comparing him with the estate men. I stopped seeing his effort. I started seeing his limitation. He was still being the man I once prayed for, but I wanted things different now. I remember the first time I disrespected him publicly. We were at a small gathering when someone made a joke about men who could not buy expensive things. And I laughed and said, "Some people here need to be ashamed of themselves." Then I looked at him. People understood and laughed, but he did not laugh. That night, he did not talk. He just asked me one question. "Do you still respect me?" But I didn't answer him because in my mind I feel justified. My friends told me about this reaction. They called it first stage. That is denial stage, but you have no choice later than to accept it. I remember what our first lady in the group said. She said he will appreciate it later when he sees it in a bigger